Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another whiteboard session. This is the Nakshatra Gurukul series that have started on my channel. And what is Nakshatra Gurukul? Nakshatra Gurukul is a refreshing, thought-provoking series of interviews with researchers, scholars, students of Nakshatras, who would present their original findings and teach us new ways of understanding and mastering this divine secrets of these lunar mansions. Now today, I have a guest with me who was a participant on the Nakshatra course that I taught 10 months ago. And our guest today is a PhD from University of Toledo, Ohio. His research was on study of interstellar medium in galaxies. He has also previously worked with the prestigious esteemed Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bengaluru in India. He is originally from Mumbai, and his interest is on showing the scientific link between astrology and astronomy. So please help me welcome Aditya Togi. Welcome, Aditya.
Thank you, Dr. Pai, for such a kind introduction. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Aditya, you are like the sun, Aditya. So today you're going to enlighten us with some of your research on astronomy and also Jyotish and Nakshatras. So before we commence with our lesson today, so tell us something about yourself, your background in astronomy, astrology, and how did this journey in Jyotish start? So give us a little bit about that. Tell us about yourself.
Right from my childhood, I was interested in looking stars, during night time. I was brought up in Bombay, Mumbai, and it's always light pollution. But sometimes when we have light cut off, there you get an opportunity basically to gaze the sky and try to see all those twinkling stars. So gazing the sky was always an interest. And I say, that was like when I was a kid. As I have grown a little bit more older, like in my teenager, there used to be an astrologer near my neighbor, like a neighbor. And I always used to go and tell him, I want to learn astrology from you. I want to learn astrology from you. He will say, one day you will learn. One day you will learn. He never used to teach me. This happened for 3 years, 94 to 97. And then I decided, okay, it's not going to help anyway. He had a rack of all the books. So one day I decided I went there, took the book. It was a Panchang. I came to know later. And I started opening it. It was Date Panchang. I still remember. He was a Maharashtrian astrologer. And it was like when I opened it, it was like all numbers, nothing. I cannot understand anything. I will gaze at it for half an hour or 1 hour, close the book, keep the rack, come at the same time next day, and again take a look. Nothing understood. Keep it, same thing repeated. Constantly for a period of 6 months.
Goodness me.
Yeah. And then, somehow, I don't know how come, it started to make sense after 6-7 months. Maybe persistence, I don't know what was that.
Right.
And then I started to find correlating, okay, this is what it is. Later I came to know that all those numbers was declination and the position of our planets, the position of stars, all those nakshatras and all. And slowly, that was like the time. It was when I was like 14 years old. And then I finished my 10, and then was the time we get a free time there. I thought, okay, let me take it and do it. And I started doing calculations on my own. I was never told that everything arc minutes, seconds, degree are like 60 and 30, like all those. Because we are all decimal system, correct? It took time for me to understand.
Yeah.
And once it was like bang on. Everything was like something, I don't know what it was. And then I started enjoying calculations. And then I thought, why not? If possible, make a career in astronomy, basically, because I like calculations. I like gazing at sky. I like to do all those planets. And then I said, okay, let me do astronomy. And then it was like, okay, fine, I want to do astronomy, but how to do? And I went to a career center, I still remember, and I said, I want to make a career in astronomy in Bombay. And they told me, tete-a-tete. What is that astronomy? I said, I came to career center and people are asking me about it. I said, this is not a place.
Yeah.
But then I pursued, and then I met people in my life who were like real teachers of astronomers. And it was a big story, and you have to cut short.
Yeah.
And I was into astronomy. I took physics, and from there it went on doing astronomy part. At the same time, I'm doing astrology also side by side,
Mm-hmm.
making horoscopes, trying to see, talking with my neighbor if in case of any doubt. And that's where astronomy and astrology was simultaneously growing one by one, one by one. I think it was a simultaneous study. And astrology became okay, fine. That was my interest, so that became an hobby. And astronomy became my career, but astrology is still my hobby. Then I
Fantastic.
thought, yeah, why not club together
Yeah.
and see what I get. And it was like I wanted to learn astrology with a course or someone, but I never got a chance for past 16 years maybe.
Right.
It was just now, 1 year back, when I joined the Nakshatra course. It was like got right like-minded people, and it was like a continuous flow. So somehow nature took its own time and its own course, and things happened. So that was still I'm doing astronomy and astrology side by side, trying to reveal the secrets of nature. Let's see.
This is very, very fascinating, Aditya, because there are very few people who kind of want to learn Jyotish and would want to go into astronomy. So you are one of those people who are doing this original work on trying to link the planets, the stars, with what was written in our shastras, maybe thousands of years ago, and trying to correlate it with modern science, and so I think that is very fascinating.
Oh, because when I was young, people will say astrology doesn't work and all, like normal thing. And you ask the next question to people who say that, what
Yeah.
they know about astrology. They'll say, oh, the 12 signs which come in the newspaper, how can you divide 12 signs for the complete population of the world? Which they are completely true, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Correct.
But somehow they don't know that astrology is not that. It goes
Correct.
far beyond that.
Correct.
But this was a question I asked myself when I was like a kid. And then said, let me see what it is. Let me study on my own. And then I started finding correlation. And it was like, bang, there's something. And the interest went on and on and on and on. I don't know. So that
This
was, that
is
was
this is fascinating. So, Aditya ji, so what is the lesson that you have for us today? So, what are you going to teach us about, astronomy and what links with astrology, and so that all the viewers would know what is going behind the scenes and how exactly, there is a saying that we have that as above, so below,
oh yeah, perfect. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So something must be happening up there in the skies, and that is a replication that we see here, what is happening on the Earth plane. So tell us more about it. So what is the
Ah,
lesson?
I, my neighbor is not no more. He
Okay.
expired 3 years back, 3.5 years back. He used to say the same thing. जो वहाँ है वो यहीं है. Like
Hmm.
exactly the same. When you said that word, I remember him. He used to say, "What's that? If you want to find something there, find within, find on the world. You will come. You can correlate."
Exactly.
You said that word. I remember him.
So
And
as above, so below. So this is, I think, the beautiful way of summarizing how to learn nakshatras. And I've done a couple of videos on that, this concept of as above, so below. So tell us more, through this lesson, how you can actually understand Jyotish by knowing the astronomy, knowing what is happening up there in the skies.
okay, perfect, sure. So today I have for everyone about the star Ardra, which is also Betelgeuse, called
Yeah.
in English. So I will be telling you something about correlation of this astronomy aspects of Betelgeuse with
Yeah.
the astrology, what I know. And let's see how I can do. And
Sure.
yeah, feedback, and that will be great to, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, and this is not the knowledge of my own, knowledge by several sources, several teachers, several participants. Many people have helped me to
Sure.
gain that. I'm really indebted to them.
Yeah.
And one of them is definitely you. So
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, go on, Aditya.
okay, I will share my screen.
Sure, sure.
I think you can see the screen right now.
Yes, yes. Indeed, we can see your screen.
Perfect.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay, so the enigmatic and enchanting Rudra or Ardra. So here is the Lord Shiva's photo. I really like this photo, how he's really dancing and sage prostrating before him. So with his blessings, let us learn about the Ardra Nakshatra today. So Ardra, it's one of the, as we say, in fact, Ardra, when I started astronomy, or anyone who starts astronomy to look at the night sky, the first object which is very easy to identify is the Orion Constellation. Because it's such a beautifully displayed and such a huge, and you can easily identify those stars. And because it's a vast space, you cannot really know where to look. So this becomes, like a guiding, okay, full sky chart. And once you locate the Orion, now you can locate other stars in the whole sky. And this becomes like a pointer, a guiding factor. So Orion is definitely one of the, when I studied it first, and I think many of astronomers have also said that they start from Orion and then they go to locate other constellations. So this is definitely to start with. I don't know why, because one reason which I could say is it consists of a star which you see here. It's a red star, that is Betelgeuse. That is called as Ardra Nakshatra in our Hindu astrology.
Yeah.
And Ardra, the Lord is Rahu, and Rahu is associated with astronomy. So because of that reason why astronomers feel a more liking towards this constellation? Maybe. I don't know, I'm just saying. Somehow connected. I mean, I started this and many astronomers have also told me the same. So maybe, who knows. Anyway, this is the brightest star. This is the constellation Orion. You can see the red star is circled here, which is called as Ardra, and the deity of Ardra is the Rudra.
Yeah.
So, and this was always a very, what to say, right from time immemorial, this constellation of Orion is very famous. For example, this Giza pyramids, the 3 stars which you see in the belt here in the center.
Yeah.
Basically, the Giza pyramids are basically aligned with the Orion belt.
Yeah.
This is like around 2500 BC, around maybe that means around 5000 years old.
Correct.
So people were, enthusiastic about this constellation, and this constellation must have amazed everyone. Not only Egypt, but if you see this name, it's called as Bahu in Sanskrit.
Correct.
This is the Orion Betelgeuse. Bahu is what? Bahu means arm.
Correct.
Betelgeuse is located in the arm of the hunter.
Yes.
Now, this hunter, this Orion is called as Mriga Nakshatra, while it is called as hunter in English continents or English-speaking countries. Now, why? Because when you go towards India to a lower latitudes, this constellation seems to be rising horizontally. That looks like a shape of a deer, Orion as a whole.
Right.
But when you come to northern latitudes, this constellation becomes rising vertically. So it looks like a hunter.
Right.
So that's why the Orion is also called as hunter, while in Indian mythology it is called as Mriga Nakshatra.
Mriga Nakshatra. Fantastic.
Yeah. But it was not only that Indian people or ancient Indians were fixed to Mriga or deer. They also know that it was about a hunter shape. So some people gave hunter, some people gave deer. And exactly the Betelgeuse is on the arms. That's why this star was called as Bahu.
Right.
And it is, in Tamil, it is called Tiruvadirai. And I will say what is the significance of the Tiruvadirai Nakshatra.
Right.
Not only in Sanskrit or Tamil, we also have in Arabic, which is called Yad al-Zoza. I don't know how to say it exactly, but that is called as hand of Orion. Again related to hand.
Right.
In Greek, it was homos didymon, which means shoulder next to the twins. Now, what is twin? Twins are Castor and Pollux. This is Gemini. And Orion also comes in Gemini. Half comes Vigor, half comes in Vrishabh Rashi, and half comes in Gemini, or Taurus and Gemini. So it is very near to Castor and Pollux. So that's why Orion is very near to Castor and Pollux. Betelgeuse is very near to Castor and Pollux. That's why it is called left shoulder next to the
Twins.
So somehow in all the culture we have this people studying this Orion constellation, very famous constellation. And that's why I said, okay, let us take this Ardra and show the significance of it.
You mentioned about Tiruvadirai, and you were about to say something about Tiruvadurai. What is that?
I will come to it at the end. I will come to
Okay.
it at the end. I have something for that. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Now, as I said, the ruler is Rudras. There are like Ekadash Rudras. Ekadash, Ek plus Dash. Ek,
Yeah.
1, Dash, 10, 1 plus 11 Rudras.
Mhm.
And these are all different names taken from I have read from the book of Radhe, basically.
Right.
Thankful to her. And it's all different names, 11 Rudras name. And we also see there's first name Mriga Vyadha, which is piercer of the deer. Sarpa, which is nothing but a deity of Ashlesha Nakshatra.
Correct.
Irti, Tula, Ajayakapad, Purva Bhadrapada, Ahiribudanya, Uttar Bhadrapada, Pinakara, Dahana, Kapalin, Stanu or Rudra, which is the deity of Ardra, and also Bharga. These are all 10 different Rudras.
11.
Now, as I said, this is a piercer of the deer. So that has got very significance. If you look in the sky, as you see, this is Betelgeuse. I think you can see my pointer, correct?
Yeah, I can see your pointer, yeah.
And these are the 3 stars. And this is the brightest star in the night sky is the Sirius star. Sirius. It's shaped like this. And if you see it looks like an arrow. And if you extend this Sirius, as shown by the blue line, it directly goes and hits this Betelgeuse.
Wow. Right.
So it is, yeah. So it's like Mriga, Vyadha. Mriga, Orion, like a deer. And Vyadha is like who is the killing or a hunter type. So sometimes even Sirius is referred to as Rudra in ancient texts.
Yes.
So there's an analogy between Betelgeuse and Sirius.
Yeah.
And it's perfect, like the Sirius is just hitting this Mriga.
It's the same. So, it's a mythological story where Rudra actually shoots down the head of Brahma, who's running like a stag in the sky.
Oh, perfect. Exactly. Yeah, it's like an arrow and all. And I will talk about that arrow and everything. Exactly. This looks like, the shape, this triangle is like the end of the arrow, and this is like the pointer, and then it's like hitting the star. So
beautiful.
Perfect sense it makes. So when you talk about Betelgeuse star, here is the description. Sirius is shown, and the 3 belt stars in the Orion belt, and the Betelgeuse. And it's like, as we say, Orion. The first thing comes in Orion. Hunter. What is hunter related to? Animal, because it's closely related to that animal. So the idea, basically, it's what does basically the basis above hunter, hunting or searching comes in the mind when you talk about hunter. And this is called, the Sirius was called as a dog star. Like hunter will always take a dog, as shown in this left picture, just to accompany him and to basically ward off from other animals in the jungle. Similarly, when this Sirius is like a dog with this hunter. So that was the imagination which people in the West had. Like Orion as an hunter and the Sirius as a dog.
So was it called as Canis Major by any chance?
Sirius is called as Canis Major. Canis
means canine and.
Correct. This Sirius is also called as a dog star, like in the West.
Correct.
In Hindu mythology, we have like a piercer and Mriga Vyadha.
Yeah.
Here, West they call as hunter, and the Sirius was called as a dog star. So when you say hunter, animal, so it's basically basis above is hunting or searching. Very, very well related to the basis above.
Yeah.
And it's a dog star. So the animal, I think, of this nakshatra of Ardra is female dog. Again, dog.
That's correct. Yeah. Female dog.
Yeah. So, and then what does a hunter do? Basically, he puts effort to get his food, get his target, or get some achievement, basically. So it's Shakti is effort and achievement.
Brilliant.
Result is about bringing the achievement, and desire is what hunter wants to what? Have a lordship or have a control over his prey, over its animal. Yep. Desire is lordship over animals. So just by those words of hunter and dog, we can get all this nakshatra qualities: Shakti, result, desire, basis above, basis below, and the animal. Just by knowing we had Sandeep Kanoli days back, and he was saying how to correlate all those festivals and other things. But just with all this information, how to correlate basically those information which everyone knows about Sirius is called a dark star. How can that be so connecting with the characteristics of nakshatra, compared to his animal, compared to his basis about, it's fantastic, marvelous.
Fantastic, fantastic.
So just by those names, we get all the qualities, 5 to 6 qualities.
Exactly. Just even through astronomy, which is also fascinating.
Yeah.
To see that level of correlation that our ancients have actually, understood about these nakshatras and how they correlated. That is actually very, eye-opening for us.
I don't know. They have. It's like always like how centuries back when they had no telescopes.
Correct.
How they do. That's something which I never understood. And maybe some yoga sadhana. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's. I've not yet touched the astronomy part. Let's see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
This comes where a little bit of astronomy. But the Betelgeuse is said to be the 9th brightest star if you just observe in visible region. Now, for example, let me talk about something about electromagnetic spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about electromagnetic spectrum, it's not only made up of visible light. Now, visible light is something what you see.
Correct.
There are different types of light: gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, infrared, microwave, radio wave.
Correct.
So, visible, what we as a human beings could see is only a small part that is visible. Like if you see cats and dogs, they say that they also sense this infrared radiation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
So there are different rays. So when you see the star in the sky, you're observing only a narrow part of this electromagnetic spectrum, and the Betelgeuse is just 9th brightest star in the night sky. But they say that if you compare all the wavelength and see the light coming from all different wavelengths, then it would have been the brightest star.
Right.
This tells you something, that this star has got so much strength, so much hidden potential, that which is not seen, because its all potential is hidden. It has got so much inner strength which is not seen just by this scientific aspect. You're not able to see its entire light. You're not able to see its hidden potential. So people with this nakshatra may be having a lot of potentials which are hidden.
Okay.
Which they may have a lot of inner strengths, but they themselves may not know. Somehow, like I recall the story of Hanuman.
Correct.
He has got this curse, he won't be able, unless until someone says him, someone plays him.
Correct.
He'll be able to then realize his inner power.
Yes. So they say that until he meets Sri Ram, he won't have realized his siddhis or his powers, those spiritual powers, supernatural powers that he had. So that is what they say. So this is interesting. And Aditya, can you just tell us, out of curiosity, how many times bigger than our sun is Betelgeuse, roughly? From your experience, how big is it? 1,000 times?
It is in the next slide.
Okay. We'll get there. Okay, we'll get there. Yeah.
We get there. Yeah. So that's one aspect, that there are a lot of hidden potential and inner strengths. Here it is.
Okay.
Your answer. So now let us see how much times is bigger than the sun. That's what you asked. Perfect question. So the mass of this star is like 8 times solar mass. Whenever I write this, and even now in astronomy we use this term.
Okay.
Sun. So that symbol, circle and a dot, is for sun.
Right.
If you want to write about moon, we use crescent.
Right.
So still all those notations I did.
Okay. Is still used. Okay.
So this mass is about 8 times solar mass.
Right.
8 times the mass. The weight is about 8 times much more higher than our sun mass.
Right.
The radius is about 887 plus minus 203. So there's an error there, but around 800 or 900 times bigger than the sun.
Right. Okay.
If you take the sun size, 900 times bigger is
right.
this star.
Okay.
The declination. Now, what is declination is basically, as we have latitude and longitude on Earth, similarly we have latitude and longitude on the sky plane.
Okay.
And it is said that it is at the 8th degree.
Right.
7 degree to minutes, which is like 8th degree.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, I would like to caution my viewers that this all can be little bit changed. All have their own uncertainties.
Right.
what I got was this 8 number was very significant in this.
Mm-hmm.
You see this age. Now, there was a paper which they said that this few months back, this mass can be even 18 or 20 solar mass. So that can be achieved. But this age was about 8 million years. That's constant in everywhere, like most of the papers which are gone, which I've seen. That the age of the star is 8 or 8.5 million. So it's like 8. Now, 8 number is, I feel, specifically close connection with Rahu.
That's right. That's right.
Because, of course, Rahu in numerology, it is 4, they say. Correct? Yeah. But I think you can put shed more light if you connect 8 with Rahu.
Aditya, I have in most of my videos, I've connected Rahu with the number 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because for the reason that many people say number 8 is associated with Saturn and Shani. But what I say, my research says that it is number 8. But it is okay to take even Saturn as number 8. Why? Because they say there is a Sanskrit saying called Shanivat Rahu and Kujavat Ketu, which means Saturn is just similar to Rahu and Ketu is very similar to Mars, right? So Shani, Rahu is rather only a higher octave of Shani or Saturn, and Ketu is only a higher octave of Mars. And how do I come at this number 8 is I go and look at the base number in the yantra, which is given to us by the ancients. So if you look at the yantra of Rahu, okay, you would see the number there, the lowest number there is, the base number is 8.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Right?
Okay.
So that is how I correlated Rahu with number 8. So, and those people who use number 8 as Saturn also are not wrong, because it's only, Rahu is only a higher octave of Saturn.
Oh, okay, interesting. And this, this Ardra is Lord is the planet
Rahu.
So
I can see a lot of correlation, Aditya. I can see a lot of correlation now.
It's like, oh my God. So this was not even just, I got this information a day back, I should say, a day or two back. And
right.
Like, okay. Anyway. Any questions so far? Please let me know. Please feel free to interrupt at any time.
No, sure. I think we're doing good. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Now, as I told, this star is like 8 times the mass of the sun. Now, in astronomy, bigger the star, massive the star, it will die soon. Because when it is more massive, the gravitational pressure or gravitational force will try to make it fall down, and the star has to burn enough fuel to support it.
Right.
More star, more massive star needs more energy to burn to keep it in constant equilibrium. And to do that, it will use up the fuel fast.
Right.
And it will die soon. For example, our sun, which is just 1 solar mass, its lifespan is 10 billion years. While this star is like only just 8 or 10 times mass of the sun, and it will die within maybe a few million years, or maybe few tens of million years. So that's the normal thing which we know in astronomy. Bigger the star, sooner it dies. Right. All big stars have large mass, and they have all short lifespan. It's like, even I feel this is good connection with, tortoise. Tortoise is like slow animal going slowly, at least for 200 years.
Right.
The same thing here. So we can connect that. Stars are telling me something.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's they say that it evolves rapidly because it's a bigger mass, so it's using up its fuel, and basically it's soon going to basically die. It's in the dying stage, basically. When I see that, that means it is in a transformation stage.
Right.
It is transforming. It's going to meet its end soon. So that's why now we know that Rudra is the fierce form, the anger form of Shiva, and the Shiva is calm, composed, and all. So basically, so this chart is going on a transformation. So natives born in this nakshatra, transformation is one of the key aspects.
Very, very true. Very true.
Yeah. Transformation is definitely because the star itself is like evolving rapidly, and as I said, it is like emitting such an enormous radiation. If you consider all wavelengths, a few slides back I just mentioned, so it
Yes.
is fuel soon. So the transformation is rapid. So it is
Right.
efficient transformation, and that's what I feel. That's one clear aspect again. This is correlation, astronomy
Yes.
and
Yes.
astrology.
And yes.
So that's one aspect coming directly from observation,
Yeah.
astronomical.
It's very interesting, Aditya, because you mentioned about the size and how these stars who are large enough, huge enough, have very short lifespans. So
Oh
even
yeah,
here, if you can, it reminds me of the sumo wrestlers, right, who are bulky in size. And if you read about the sumo wrestlers, they seem to have a very short lifespan, actually. 35, 40 is the maximum they live because of their huge size. They have huge pressure building up on their heart, and they have a lot of heart related ailments. And because of that, the sumo wrestlers kind of die very early.
correct.
So this is what I've read about sumo wrestlers. So it all adds up and it makes sense. And
So
bigger the size of the planets, the shorter is the lifespan.
yeah. No, they say, I don't know, I've heard somewhere
Mm-hmm.
that the number of breath you take in a lifespan.
Yeah.
What does yoga teach you to control your breath, to control, it's not like once you can breathe very rapidly, other time you can breathe very, very normal, very calm. And people who do that, maybe we are not doing, I've read somewhere whose breath is very calm and composed and like very even, then they live longer. That's what yoga teaches you, helps you to probably, I'm not sure how much true it is,
No,
but
that is that
somewhere,
is that is true, Aditya. That's why if you see the breath of the tortoise is supposed to be very, very, very slow. So
yes.
typically, what I have read about is a human being takes about roughly about 21,600 breaths in a day,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is about 10,800 breaths into two times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 10,800 breaths into twice. So 10,800 breaths you take it from your left nose, and 10,800 breaths you take it from the right nose. So which is your the Ida and the Pingala,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the sun and the moon. So you're balancing it, and then you
Yeah.
see that the number what comes up is 108 times 100. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
1,800 breaths you take. And that is why you
Correct.
see that number of 108 is very significant. So the
Oh,
lower you make your breath, the slower you make, the longer is the life. And that is why yoga, pranayama is restraining of the breath so that you are increasing your lifespan.
oh, exactly. That's what
That
I heard
definitely
some.
makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
So you can connect now biology also with.
I know, absolutely. Everything is connected. Every science is connected. We're all interconnected.
Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. So now coming back to mythology story of Rudra, it is said that universal gods came together and created a Rudra basically to basically punish, I think, Brahma. That's a
Hmm.
mythology story
That's correct.
because so he was supposed to take revenge on Brahma, and after doing that, the universal gods left him, or he was like
Abandon.
abandoned basically.
Yeah.
So his own family members abandoned. That is a
Correct.
mythology.
Correct.
Coming back to astronomy, now this star is said to be as a runaway star. It is said to be born in the OB1 association, which is somewhere here, this region.
Right.
And now that star is here.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it has gone away from its home place.
All right. Okay. So that's how you say he's an outcast or he is. Yeah. Yeah. Now
Yeah,
I get the analogy.
yeah,
Brilliant.
analogy. Yeah. So it's like he's away from his birthplace. He's moved from his family members. People have left him, or he left. He left other family members. Somewhere, maybe it's like they may have opposite views with their family members. They can be an outcast. They won't fit in the normal thinking or society or normal thing which society thinks as perfect. They can be an outcast. And I will give some examples at the end, like some few people who are like that.
This
So
is
this is
a
like just,
this is a
yeah.
very good observation, Aditya. A brilliant point, because I have often seen this theme coming up very frequently with Ardra people, who kind of
Oh,
become they have out of the box thinking, and they are the way they would, it was more like a Rahu nature, you know. So you can see that also there is a theme where Ardra people usually tend to stay away from their place of birth. This is a very common theme that I've seen with Ardra as well. So this is a brilliant thing that you have shown through astronomy, that the star was born somewhere but it's now far away, which is
correct.
it adds up.
Interestingly, I have a strong Ardra too.
Oh, okay.
And I am away from my family from, I don't know, I am not, I've been away from my family for past 7 years. Of course, I visited once in
Right.
7 years just.
Right.
So that's why this start took me,
I know.
right from when I learned this Ardra was somewhere hidden. I don't know how it came up, but and that's why I took this start to study first.
Right.
So I have some, I don't know, I have
Do
some close
do you have anybody, just out of curiosity, do you have anybody in your family, anywhere close, who has studied astronomy?
No one has studied astronomy.
So that is what just gives me, it says that, you are Adra. Why? Because you are doing something which is very different from what your family would do typically. That's why I asked you this question about astronomy, because this is something which is out of the box. Even in India, not many people would want to go. The typical ones are doing law, engineering, medicine, but very few people. So this is the Ardra quality, doing something out of the grain, going against the normal course,
Correct.
right?
In fact, I should say as usual, in India during that, now people are still getting more, people are open. But back in 16 years back, 17 years back, my father said, "Oh, you should go for what engineering was the most common there." He was like, "You should go to engineering."
Exactly.
I said, "I don't like engineering," and he was like, "What you will do with astronomy? Who does astronomy?" It's like he was nothing wrong, because he was saying me about his own views and his
Correct.
own ideas. For
Correct.
so many years, course, what is what. And sometimes when I do get dejected, when I do get some failures in my field, I say, I shouldn't listen to my father sometimes. But it's like, okay, no. So he was like, you should go, but I opposed. I said, no, I have interest in this, and I said, go there.
Right.
And even on the last day, he came to me. This is the last day of the form. Would you like to fill it? He was like, ask. I said, I'm fine. I'm happy with this. Okay, fine. Then he says, okay, whatever you do, because whatever you do, at least you won't blame me. He said,
Right.
and then
Right. It's your choice. Yeah.
so he came, but yeah. So that was like, I was opposed. See, that's the thing. Opposing from.
That's what you have written there also. Opposite views with other members in the family. So that's what represents what your thoughts as well.
Exactly, that was my thoughts. And when I said to my friends, he said, "Hey, engineering. What is engineering? You should do engineering. Who does physics?
Yeah.
Who does pure science?" Like, you're mad, man. You're crazy. You're pagal. That's the term I've got. That's the.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm fine. Whatever I'm doing, I'm happy with it. So no problem. But now things are changing. I could see that.
I know. Definitely, there's more acceptance.
Yeah. But yeah, it was tough. And I said, what? Because there was a fear too, when you were going against it.
Correct. So you are the runaway star. Today you are a star. Having existed so much in your life, doing your research, your PhD. Now, potentially, I don't know whether the viewers should know about it, but you are an aspiring person who would probably work in NASA one day. I do not know. I'm just throwing a blind one.
Let's see. Anyways, okay, yeah, a little bit digression. I just
no, that helps. Anyway, let's get the show back on the road.
Yeah. So, okay, now Boshok. Now the star, as I told, it's runaway. So basically, it is moving in the interstellar medium. Now, interstellar medium is interstellar. Inter means between, stellar means stars, between stars. So it is going with a speed in the interstellar medium. So what happens when it goes with a speed? There is gas in the space. So that gets basically compressed.
Right.
You can see a bow shock. A shock wave is basically formed, and it's called a bow shock. And the name bow shock, it's like, as you know, Rudra was born basically placing an arrow towards the there's some disturbance.
Is it from my end? Okay, what I'll do, I'll put myself on mute so that.
That's fine. Now it's not there. I cannot hear.
No, I put myself on mute because if there is some background noise from my end, so.
Okay, now it's perfect. Now it has gone.
Okay.
So basically, it's now Rudra was born basically to shoot an arrow towards Brahma and basically to punish him for his sin which he had done. And it's basically what this shows. Now, bow shock, shooting an arrow, bow and arrow. Now, this is bow shock. So again, there's a relation. It's like it looks like the left picture here looks like something like an arrow shooting towards the left side.
Yeah.
It's like Rudra is shooting an arrow.
Right.
So now another key aspect is basically it's going towards a specific aim in the life. So these people will have a specific purpose in the life. They have particular aim in the life, born for a specific purpose. Just as Rudra was created by universal gods to basically to punish Brahma or Prajapati.
Yeah.
These people will be like having some aim in their life, some karma, past life karma, something will be strong past life karma, and transformation, which we saw. So all this looks like they are born with a particular aim, and to satisfy that aim in this.
Right.
Now, when we talk about all this bow, arrow, bow shock, the thing which comes to mind is all sharp and pointed object. The nature of this star is also called as Tikshna star, which is sharp and dreadful. So you can know the nature of the nakshatra, basically.
Yeah.
Just bow and bow shock. So I'm trying to connect this bow shock with the sharp nakshatra as well as with the bow shock which you see in the observations, in astronomical observations, the shock waves, sort of movement of Betelgeuse. It moves with a very fast speed, like a supersonic speed. 30 kilo, I think it is something like 30 kilometers per second.
Goodness me, 30 kilometers per second is how fast this bow shock is moving, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what.
And Aditya, can you tell us how is the nature of Betelgeuse itself? And if you have you seen any association with what is happening in the star and what is happening with this nakshatra and the natives here? Is there any correlation that you have seen in terms of the nature of how this star is very volatile, as you mentioned?
Yeah, when I come to Interstellar Medium crashing, maybe I don't know, but maybe in the next slide or next.
Okay, I think I'm asking you questions even before you get there. So yeah.
No issues. That's good. But remind me when I come to that.
Sure. Okay.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Wow.
This one.
Next one.
Yeah. So when in 2013, when Herschel, it's a far infrared telescope, it's in the infrared region, to observe this star, and they said that the star wind is crashing against the interstellar medium. So there's a wind, as I said, all this wind is going, and the wind is crashing against the interstellar medium. So you have like storm-like patterns, a very turbulent medium.
Right.
And here the picture, this red color, shows like a simulation was done, a scientific simulation was done basically to show how the particles, maybe what velocity it is moving, and how to simulate what's going there. Can we make? And what they find is, as you can see, the star and this world was there, like storm-like patterns can be seen.
Yeah.
You know, Ardra is related to storms, right? Ardra is related to storms, like this constellation is related to storms. So when we say storm, what is storm? The wind is crashing, the wind is heavy wind blowing, turbulent medium.
Correct.
And it's like causing havoc and all. So the nature of these people, it's like sometimes they can go turbulence. They can do things hastily manner and mess up. and create problems for their own, just
Yes.
without any thought. So that's one quality which we can
I think this is
correlate.
fascinating, very, very fascinating, because I've seen many Ardra people have these qualities that you say about storming, turbulence, and sometimes it is self-inflicting as well. This sort of they
Sure.
explode and they kind of hurt themselves through their explosions.
Yeah. Because it's Rudra, Shiva, what was that? Bhasmasur. He gave a boon, and he gave a boon. Of course, he was not like disturbed, but he gave a boon without thinking, and then Bhasmasur came towards him to
Yes,
destroy
yes,
him.
destroy him. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So, causing pain for himself basically,
So
and then it was more
self-destructive tendencies.
self-destructive tendencies. Exactly, self-destructive tendencies. So one lesson to learn basically for these natives is to think before you act,
Mm,
or before you speak or to think. And I said I have a strong Ardha. Sometimes I do that. I
right,
don't think before, and then I think, oh, what I have said is
right,
this. I may say something and people may predict something else, and it will be all chaos and fights, and I don't know what all
right,
happen.
right.
So sometimes it's better to be calm and quiet and say, think twice about it.
Absolutely.
I say that and I don't practice myself. Let's see. But
But now you know that, how Ardras work. So now I think there is more
sure.
inclination for you to be more calm and
To become from Rudra to Shiva.
yeah, exactly. Transformation. This is the transformation.
Transformation. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, this was, I don't know whether I have answered your question.
No, I think this is perfect. This is what I was looking for, because this is what I had read also somewhere, and that's why I was trying to ask, an expert like you to tell us, how what is happening, because we said what as above, so below. So whatever is happening in the star currently should be the same feeling that the natives of this planet should have. So any turbulences there could also create maybe some turbulence here within us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So turbulence, one thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, when I say Rudra, they were called as 11 atmospheric divine beings. They are
Right,
like 11 atmospheric. When you say atmosphere, it's basically they lie on the stratosphere and mesosphere.
right.
Stratosphere
Absolutely.
and so that means Rudra is connected with clouds, because all those clouds which you see is formed in the troposphere, just little bit below the stratosphere or in the
Right.
troposphere. So again, connected with clouds,
Yeah.
storms, and Rudra is like an atmospheric being. So they are not like they are not on the ground as well as not on the heaven. They are like in between,
So intermediate space.
intermediate space. And when you say about intermediate, now we all put our communication satellites and all those in space, basically, in the stratosphere and other things. But I remember, if you put radio waves, they get reflected from the ionosphere, and I think I don't know exactly which stratosphere or ionosphere. I'm not sure, but again from the space. So it's communication satellites. So people with this will have good communication,
So this is
because
Rahu again, Rahu quality.
Rahu
Rahu is communication and satellites and air travel and space travel and all of that.
correct, and it is falls on the third house of Kalpurush Kundali. So
Correct.
third
Absolutely.
house,
Communication.
third house, communication.
Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
and we also have ozone layer. How I can forget ozone layer, because ozone layer is what it absorbs UV.
Right.
Now UV connected to Rahu again.
Yes.
So again, ultraviolet rays, because ozone absorbs UV, and UV is connected to Rahu, because we know green color is connected to Mercury, yellow color is connected to the sun,
Yeah.
and so UV is connected to Rahu. It's not visible, but still very energetic, because lower the wavelength, it's higher the energy basically. So UV is connected to Rahu, and it absorbs UV. So again, Rahu connection you can see there.
So what is very interesting, Aditya, with this, I also recollect that I read somewhere that the hurricanes and tornadoes happen because of the imbalance in the ozone layer. So whenever there is a hole in the ozone layer, that is when below you have these tornadoes which are formed. These tornadoes are a way to replenish this ozone layer. Okay, this is
Uh,
nature's way of replenishing the ozone layer, and there are tornadoes here. This is what I read. I don't know whether this is
I
correct.
don't know, but what you say now, I was very much interested in that physics, cloud physics too.
Yeah.
A couple of years back, there's one NASA web page which gives you information about how all tornadoes form, and I have a notes which I made.
Okay.
What it says, when the temperature of the water is little bit on an average about 27 degrees Celsius, ocean temperature,
Ocean temperature. Okay.
we get tornadoes and hurricanes, because that's where it's basically heating the water, and that all the water goes above and forms clouds, and then there's a pattern.
Okay.
All those. The condition, if there is something wind, a shear of wind coming, and basically cloud formation is happening, and it goes and breaks it, tornado is gone.
So,
Then you don't have.
would it be right for me to imagine that this heating of the water could have happened because there is a hole in the ozone layer?
That's what I was.
And there is more sun rays falling in the water body, and then
That's what I was.
yeah, and that is maybe the imbalance that I had read about. So I just wanted to clarify this. Maybe whatever my knowledge is might be incorrect.
I'm not sure, but I know this temperature high. If you get those hurricanes and all. Now, when you think about, that's what I was connecting. When you think about ozone hole, maybe that heating is efficient there, and that can be a cause of all those hurricanes and storms.
Storms, exactly. This is what I was trying to connect and see, and maybe those particular spots where these hurricanes and tornadoes hit on a yearly basis, it's maybe the ozone layer there might be a hole in the ozone, and then there is more sunlight falling there. There is heating of the thing and the clouds going up. So I'm just trying to interpret. I do not know because I'm not.
I don't know about that aspect, but definitely temperature needs to a warm temperature, not a wind. Shearing the wind should not be there, because all those factors will help you to form those structures. And then, because right now, October, November is a very good month for, if you see all the hurricanes. 3 years back, we had Hudud cyclone in India, in Vishakhapatnam.
Yes.
Before that, we have piling storm in Orissa coast.
Correct.
It's temperature, October heat, when they say. October heat, when it happens, it warms up the Bay of Bengal Ocean. And because of that, the tendency to form hurricanes and all is more.
Okay.
But I was, a couple of years back, in our university, there was a person who came and talked about weather conditions. And he said that the global warming and other things happening, which is heating up the ocean, and getting a severe cyclones and all in the coming days is much more higher and much more probable. So that's the thing, because global warming, heating can cause a lot of hurricanes and stuff. Turbulence.
So do you think that is again the association with Rudra being the destroyer, and he will bring in the ultimate nemesis and all of that? Because if you do not take care of our planet and the way we are doing it, the way global warming is going, there would be more tornadoes, there would be more hurricanes, and then it is Rudra's domain to come and destroy. Punish us for what we've been doing. Yeah.
So and Rudra will overtake us one day. I will come to that slide too.
Sure. Yeah.
The other thing is the meteorites. Meteorites and other, it burned in the atmosphere when it meteorites are all particles, comet particles, and all dust particles which we have in space, all rocks. So when the Earth basically comes near to them, it pulls due to this gravitational force. And because of this frictional force in the atmosphere, it gets burned. So atmosphere is one way protecting us basically from these meteorites. Otherwise, we will be like, I don't know, dinosaurs, which extinction happened how many millions of years back, we would have been no human beings. So Ardra is not only disturbing, but also it protects us from hazards. So it's not only positive aspects too.
So that is the protective aspect of Rudra, who is actually burning down the meteorites before they actually hit us, the asteroids. So they burn down before they actually reach the Earth. Right. So that is how Rudra, the intermediate space, Rudra is, the 11 Rudras are actually protecting us. So that is a very interesting analogy. Very interesting, Aditya.
So if you have like a governing officer who's having a prominent Ardra, maybe he may take all the responsibilities and all inflict that, because Shiva, he drank that halahal poison.
Halahal, yes, the poison. For the sake
so it's like taking all the poison himself and then saving the world. So that aspect.
So this is do you see the same nature maybe in Ardra, where he stands in front of these storms and he weathers the storm so that the people behind him, as a leader, he would protect those people from those storms and drinking the poison like Rudra did or Shiva did. So maybe that analogy might apply very well with the Ardra as well, where they have the ability to stand in front of the storm and then take that most of the hit of the storm so that the people are protected.
Yes, yes, I feel that. So.
Very interesting.
Okay. So when we talk about storms, bow shocks, that means these people undergo a very, as you said just now, tough situations basically. So they rise above all perils, success. And note, the Shakti is basically achievement to have. So these people are like exactly taking that, taking that intensity or taking that momentum of that storm and protecting people behind them. So they are like going through a tough situation, going through a transformation, a tough situations in life and protecting aspect. So this shows that. I think somehow we are staying, connecting all the points.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Okay. Now the Trimurti principle is Shiva, so destruction. Now, as I told, the star is basically very near to his deathbed and is going to be going to die soon. I mean, it is dying is nothing but joining with the infinite. When it's die, all the materials are thrown out into space, basically.
Right.
So I feel that this again transformation, Rudra becoming Shiva, that individual who's having that is becoming like merging with the infinite.
Right, right.
It's the merging process is there. So the destruction principle is Trimurti Shiva, and we know Rudra how he destroyed the Daksha, Yajna, and other things. So it's like the destruction principle is there. The destruction principle can be used in a positive way, in a negative way. So that's what it teaches you to how to use those things in a positive manner and help people, help society, help community. So that's why Trimurti principle is Shiva. Definitely, it has to be with all those qualities, I feel.
And interesting, Aditya, you mentioned about this thing about, it is near to his deathbed and explosion will integrate with, so I kind of see from an esoteric perspective where Rudra actually became one with Shakti. So the universe is a Shakti, right? The goddess Shakti. And Rudra becomes the pacified Shiva.
Yes.
So maybe this is the analogy I'm trying to see. When this star explodes and becomes one with the universe, it means it has already integrated with the Shakti. We say that the entire universe is a form of a feminine Shakti. And that,
now I see.
And that becomes pacified Shiva.
Sure. Because I think Mriga she is connected to Shakti, correct? Parvati.
Absolutely, Parvati, Uma. That is called the birth sign of Uma Parvati. Mrigashira Nakshatra.
And note, this Betelgeuse is very close. It's in the Orion constellation. It's in the Mrigashira constellation. So the Shiva and Shakti is there. When the star dies, what happens? All this material will merge with this Mriga's material.
Mriga's material.
Basically merging.
And that combination, the confluence of Shiva or Rudra and Shakti is what your Shivling is.
Exactly.
Merger of these two forces, the feminine and the masculine force. So the Betelgeuse exploding and merging into Mrigashira Nakshatra, which is the birth sign of Uma Parvati, the consort of Shiva. Very interesting. I mean, I think astronomically, what you're showing us, this discussion has been so interesting, Aditya. I must say, a lot of us can connect it with mythological stories, with these symbols, these mythological figures that we are talking about, and this is exactly the principle of how the cosmos is evolving, and that is a deeper hidden layers that we are trying to unravel, and those secrets are coming out. So that is absolutely brilliant.
It's a marvelous, amazing. That's why the connection when I saw it was like, and this we have done for some other nakshatras too. Beautiful.
Yes. We'll do that, Aditya. We'll get you again to do all those nakshatras what you researched on, and we'll do that definitely.
Sure. Let's see how it goes. Let's
see
how we do it. Yeah. Okay. Now here it's not in the Aditya rhythm. Now we know Rudra, as I said, is basically it's like on its deathbed. Even our sun is going to die. The sun lifespan is like basically 10 billion years, I said. After that, 5 billion years are over. And only now like around 7 billion or 5 billion years are left.
Yeah.
When the sun dies, what happens is it goes through called as a red giant phase. And it basically expands. It will expand and then it will throw away all the material and then it will become a white dwarf.
White dwarf.
So, white dwarf, if we say it becomes a white dwarf. But it throws away everything, then it becomes white dwarf. So here we have like today, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Yeah.
After 7 billion, 7.6 billions, the Sun is basically going to expand.
Oh, okay.
Sun is going to expand and its goes, the orbit is like going till the orbit of Mars. Huge expansion will happen.
Do you think even Venus would be almost engulfed? Because in this image, you can see Mercury and Venus have both been coming inside the Sun.
No, even you see Earth also is engulfed.
Okay, okay.
Earth also is engulfed in that. So Earth won't be there. It will go to even Mars may be engulfed. Mars is at the boundaries. It will go expand like that. So it's basically, that's what is Rudra now. It has been expanded. It's like 900 times the radius of the Sun, as I told you, given the information.
Right.
So it has been expanded. So that means our Sun is also going to become Rudra. Rudra is going to take over the Sun.
Absolutely.
When I read Aditya Hridayam, it is said that there's a verse. I'm not that well convinced.
I can say that verse for you, Aditya.
Okay,
yeah. It says Brahmesha Chuteshaya Suryayaditya Varchase Bhaswate Sarva Bhakshaya Raudraya Vapushe Namaha.
Okay. Brahmeshana
Chuteshaya Suryayaditya Varchase
Bhaswate Sarva Bhakshaya
Raudraya Vapushe Namaha. Okay, so that is the meaning.
So, and what does it mean? Like I've given an English meaning here, which I took from Wikipedia. Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I do this. Anyway, salutation to him, because this is Aditya Hridayam, praising for the Sun. Him means the Sun, who is the inspiration to three Murtis, which is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and inspiration to all creatures. Salutation to who, that means the Sun, is fierce like Rudra at the end of the creation. Absolutely. That means at the end of the creation, Sun is going to become
Rudra. Beautiful, beautiful.
This is what we know by astronomy. Yeah, it is going to red giant phase. Like this is called, it's going to become like a Betelgeuse, and then that it will meet its own end at that time. So I don't know how people used to get this. Who I don't know. It's written. I think it was said by Sage Agastya, correct?
Sage Agastya, yeah, exactly. Lord Rama, absolutely. So, look at the wisdom of our seers and our ancients. They actually knew there is hidden meaning. Once, because I'm glad that you brought this thing up. If you look at the statement here, it really says nobody would have said that Sun would be a Rudra. Now, looking at Betelgeuse, you can always say how the same thing, what is happening in Betelgeuse, would happen with our Sun as well. So that is a beautiful verse. This is a beautiful thing. Aditya, I'm very glad you brought this up. Fascinating. Fascinating.
So, and now here I could read basically, there was by Hubble Space Telescope, and they found a hot spot by using an ultraviolet image at the southwest quadrant of the star by using Hubble Telescope. Now when I see this, ultraviolet, again related to Rahu. Image related to Rahu. Southwest quadrant related to Rahu. You are revealing the secrets of the star using the energy of its lord, basically Rahu. So again, connection with Rahu and Ardra. So that was another one nice thing which I was connected.
Very, very, very fascinating, because this nakshatra, what I've seen, Aditya, actually shows you to a very great extent how Rahu's behavior is. And all this connection, the southwest quadrant that you mentioned, ultraviolet imagery, ultraviolet region, all of this is Rahu. So something what you cannot see is Rahu's energies. So this is absolutely brilliant.
So somehow, it's like marvelous.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, now we'll come a little bit to earthly aspects. So we say Ardra. Now when Ardra is basically, it's in the Gemini constellation, and we know when the Sun is in the Gemini, we have summer solstice.
Yeah.
Now Sun is what? Sun is Atmakaraka.
Correct.
It is called summer solstice. The day length is maximum. Sun is at its highest northernmost point. Atma is at its highest point.
Right.
That means what? It is merging with the infinite,
Yeah.
with the Shakti basically. So that's what we again see. The sun, when it is at Ardra, it is at the maximum northernmost position, at the highest position where we have the maximum length of the day in northern hemisphere, and that's why again I connect with the sun, the soul with the highest point. Again, Rudra's transformation. Our soul is spiritually elevated.
Correct. Right.
And someone can argue, oh, why only northern hemisphere, why not southern hemisphere? Because when we have summer here, they have winter there, but
Yeah.
the whole population, 90% of human population is in northern hemisphere. The statistics which I got from Google, basically.
Yes, that's correct.
So, because most of the parts are covered with ocean there in the southern. So
Yeah. Makes sense.
And it's also connected with teardrop, moist, because Ardra is a pause, in Marathi they say Ardra is a pause. Because that means in the land, at that time we get rain, June month. It's rainy season in India. So basically it's also connected with teardrop. But again that moist factor is coming down. We'll talk about it next. When I say hand of Orion and discuss, it is called as Bahu in Sanskrit, meaning arm. So these people will be very skillful, I feel, in arm related activities. Now, what do you do by arm? Wrestling. And all those. An example, Arnold.
Yeah.
He has got his Mercury, it's Atmakaraka in Ardra in 12th house. And he has got really very powerful arms. No one can argue. And that's where I just thought maybe, that's connection with arm, basically. Or having powerful arms, or there may be some having some skill in arm related activities. Again, we can.
Do you see, Aditya, with this reference you made, gets me thinking, is if any planet is sitting in Ardra, do you see that maybe they would be wrestling with this, the Karakatwas or the significations of that planet?
Maybe, like for example,
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I do not know the answer myself, but this point is getting me to think. For example, if you have their moon in Ardra, moon, the Karakatva of moon is mind. Karakatva of moon is also mother. So, do you see, or maybe I'm just thinking, I don't know, this might be incorrect, but they might have tendencies to wrestle or to have a conflict with their mind or conflict with their mother.
I know someone who's having a strong Ardra. He's also my friend. He's my friend.
Yeah.
In ascendant.
Right.
What happens when you have an ascendant, mind, brain,
and body, self.
And body, yeah. So he's having, he's basically in science and all. So he's having ascendant, so thinking about wrestling with all ideas, mind and other things. So I don't know.
I was just wondering if it is Mars in Aradra, maybe younger siblings. Mars also signifies siblings.
Yes. I don't know about it, but Lagna point was.
Sorry.
His Lagna point was Ardra, my friend.
Okay.
So it can be. I've not made observations, but what you say, maybe I should try to do that statistics.
And one more thing, what also intrigues me is, I do not know the answer myself, but this is a research point that I would like to take, and maybe the viewers could also add something to this, is if there is Mars in Ardra, is there a tendency for these people to have tattoos on their hands?
Maybe because Mars is
needle. Remember that, yeah. Mars is needle, and tattoos is on your arm. So some body art, because arms. So some body art on your shoulders or some body art on your hands. I'm just thinking. I do not know the answer. So maybe people who are watching this, who know of people, could probably be able to share more, or even Mars aspecting Ardra. Not necessarily Mars is in Ardra, but Mars aspecting Ardra. Maybe from Pisces it is aspecting Ardra, From Sagittarius, it is aspecting Ardra, or from Scorpio, it is aspecting Ardra. So I just want to see that if they are interested in body art like tattooing on their
I
arms.
think viewers can put it on comments and try to
Yes,
tell us.
maybe. But this is what I really enjoy, Aditya, is when I discuss with people, who have done some deep research like yourself, there are new ideas which come about, the new insights. So, but we need to test them rigorously to see if this is something which works. Anyway, but I'm glad. So carry on. Sorry for all the interruptions I gave you.
No issues. That's
But
perfect.
this is what our discussions will actually take the session ahead, and I think at least there would be something that we can go back and work on research opportunity.
I'm really happy that you're bringing those points, and really nice.
So go ahead, Aditya. Yeah.
So this now, it's also called as Tiruvadira, as I said before in my slide in the initial beginning. And it's also called Tiruvadira is basically the star name. And there's a festival in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Tiruvadira is the star name, and it is celebrated on the full moon night in the Tamil month of Margali. Margali is the December-January month. December, mid-December 17 to January, December 14, around that. December 14, mid-December to January mid. Now it's Nataraja annual festival, and then I just found this Kai Kotikadi. It's a play which is done by women in Kerala. Kai, hand.
Yeah.
Something like hand. Kotti, Kai Kotikali, Kai Kot. Now I'm not well versed in Malayalam, but in Telugu I know it. Kotti means clap, like beating.
Yeah.
Kai means dance basically. Kai Kotikali, beating your hands. So you see the usage of arms here.
Very nice. Yeah. Use of arms. Correct.
Yeah, use of arms. Again, Ardra, Gemini, hands.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that's what I saw there. It was like, okay, makes sense.
So
celebrate on full night.
Yeah. In the month of
Margali, in the month of Margashish. Remember now.
Margashish. Okay.
So remember, that means the moon is in the. Now all our Hindu names are given according as discussing one of the posts. Every month has given their name where the full moon is. So if the full moon is in the Ashwini Nakshatra, that month is called as Ashwin. If the moon is in what you say?
The full moon happens in a particular nakshatra. Yeah.
The full moon happens in Magha Nakshatra. The month is Magh. The full moon happens in Margashish Nakshatra, that is Orion. The month is called Margari. Margashish.
Or Mrigashira Nakshatra.
Yeah. So the full moon night in the Tamil month of Margali. So this festival is, I think the moon is mind. Yes. And it's in the constellation of Orion or near to Ardra and all. So people are like having mind to play with their hands, I guess. That's what.
And very interesting, this is also Margashirsha month, and Mrigashira is associated with Parvati.
Yeah.
And then you're celebrating this with the festival in Margashirsha month, clapping your hands. So basically, maybe it was some indication of showing the, where Rudra and Parvati coming together, maybe. I do not know. I'm just thinking. But this is very, very fascinating. Absolutely interesting.
Then I have Ambubachi, festival of Devi Kamakhya, which is celebrated in the middle of June, when the sun is in Ardra. And it's said because it's when the rain starts, when you have basically nourishment, the land is fertile. And they say that the goddess or the Mahashakti is going through the annual cycle of menstruation.
Yeah.
And menses. So basically, it shows again the Shakti, the principle of Parvati. It's like sun coming in Ardra, the sun, the Atma coming in Ardra is again Rudra, Atma coming in Rudra. No, and Rudra is what? Again, merging with Parvati. So menstruation. The whole term of.
And that is when I think the storms and the rains start in India, isn't it? When sun just enters in the monsoons would begin in the middle of June. Yeah, which is again a very significant thing related to the Vedic civilization and how the monsoon started with this nakshatra.
So I feel like, Sun, Atma,
Yeah.
Ardra, Shiva, Atma in Shiva, coming, so Shiva becomes active, Shiva becomes alive, and then it's basically merging with Parvati. So you have water, you have rains, and all those. You can connect with that sexual union of energy of Shiva Shakti.
And also, you can see, Aditya, the symbology is the teardrop. So they say the rains were kind of the teardrops of Rudra.
Correct.
So this is again another analogy that I see with the symbology, with the teardrops. They say it is the teardrops, and that is what is called as Rudraksha. The bead Rudraksh. Rudraksh means tears of Rudra.
So again, see again, astronomy, sun coming in Ardra, and again we can relate it.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Festivals, be it astronomy, be it meteorology, all of these perfectly fit in.
So this is what Sandeep just 2 days back he said, connecting with festivals, connecting with symbols, connecting with those. How can you understand the essence of nakshatra? So he did Burning. So he's like Yama now. He showed us the way.
and you are the Rudra now.
I don't know.
You're removing all the ignorance, destroying the ignorance and showing us the light, because your name is Aditya. You're showing us the light.
I started my research career also from solar physics.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so at that time I was in solar physics, so I was basically used to go in Leh Ladakh, and I stayed there for many days, basically for telescope observations and other thing, taking data and all. So I started my career from solar physics. Perfectly matches with my name.
Name Aditya. Yeah, and that's what you're doing here. You're showing us the light. You're showing us the path.
Now coming to some of the examples, this is just last. I thought maybe I should give some examples. Now Albert Einstein now. So his ascendant is in Ardra. All his life events are like very closely related. Like he was having tough time in getting job. He was never recognized in school. So never recognized in school. Hidden talents. People never recognized him. He was doing something clerical job or something in patent office. Like a scientist for a century doing some patent office. Tough life. The brightest star, like Ardra is a brightest star. So he's a scientist,
Right.
Bright scientist. So he's definitely stood as one of the most influential person of the century. And he was thinking out of the box, intellectually, social aspect. So he was like his thoughts were out of the box, not understood by normal common scientists. And he was also known for his theory. Was also known for making atomic bomb. So it's like Jyotisha and Nakshatra.
That's fierce. Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant.
All his points are like very much related to Ardra. And here I show there was one application letter which this says, "Dear Mr. Einstein, your application for the doctorate has not been successful at this time, and as such, you're not eligible for the post of associate professor. While you posed an interesting theory in your article published in Annalen der Physik," that's the German name of the physics journal, we feel that your conclusions about the nature of light and the fundamental connection between space and time are somewhat radical. Overall, we find your assumption to be more artistic than actual physics. And he was denied the position. So that means he was like social outcast. No one ever, basically, were not accepting his ideas. His ideas were beyond human understanding of that.
And basically today we accept his theory globally and universally, which is what is fascinating. Somebody
still believe gravitational wave experiments and proving his 100 years old theory.
Yes.
He was 100 years ahead of at that time.
Correct.
That is Ardra.
Yes. Beautiful.
Perfect. And then I took, of course, Bal Thackeray, everyone would know in India. And as a child, I still remember how that time when you have basically riots going in Mumbai in early 93s and all. And it was like shining like his political career, fierce, dominant, exactly like all the qualities of Rudra is there. So he has got Rahu in 10th house in Rudra, Ardra Nakshatra. Rahu, first of all, in 10th house, because Rahu is very much powerful in 10th house, exalted Rahu, because Gemini is considered to be the exalted position for Rahu, and it is in Ardra. And it's also Shiv Sena. Shiv, you know?
Shiv, yeah,
Shiva.
correct.
Connection with, again, Shiva aspect basically. The name Shiva connection with Rudra, again coming there.
Right.
And then made the Shiv Sena in 19 June 1966. I just found that he was running his Jupiter Dasha. Now you can see Jupiter is aspecting a Jupiter
Rahu.
aspect Rahu, and Rahu also aspects Jupiter.
Correct.
Finite axis.
Yes.
So both
Yes.
are, and I think that's where it came probably. So it's like perfect. That makes Shiv Sena, the word Shiv Sena, you know. 2 days back he mentioned about Donald Trump, some about MAGA, Make America Great Again, MAGA.
MAGA, yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
like yeah, so the name Shiva connection with Rudra.
With Rudra. And what is another thing which is important to note, Aditya, about Bal Thackeray, is he was very popularly known for having this Rudraksha Mala.
Ah, yeah, I forgot that, yeah.
And then it was believed when I was traveling in Haridwar, they believe that he has a one-faced Rudraksh.
Okay.
Okay, so which gives him that power, and he always, you see, his hands always has this rosary, the mala of Rudraksh in his hand. Whenever all those meetings, all those speeches that he gives, he's activating his 10th house and his Rahu. Rahu is giving, fiery speeches,
Correct.
And kind of instigating people. So that is the kind of Rahu that he has in his chart, and you can see how that protective mala of Rudraksh was his trademark. You see all his pictures, you can see the rosary in his hand, the Rudraksh. And he also is supposed to be wearing the Rudraksh all the time.
And what I think Ekmukhi Rudraksh is very uncommon.
Yeah, very uncommon. Ekmukhi Rudraksh, that's correct. That's what I wanted to say. And he was one of them. And then another one was Indira Gandhi.
Indira Gandhi too.
Indira Gandhi used to wear a mala of 108 beads of Rudraksh, which was...
Indira Gandhi had Ketu in Ardra in 12th house.
Which is very fascinating. See, all of these people, and it is believed by some people that the day she was assassinated, she had left the house without that 108 bead Rudraksh.
Okay.
Right? And that is when she was assassinated. And that was a protective charm she had. She had, I think, 108 beads of Ekmukhi Rudraksh. That's what is written about. I don't know how far it is true, but people say she wasn't wearing the Rudraksh protective amulet when she ventured out and when she was assassinated. Very fascinating.
I never knew this.
So this was told.
I think because Ketu in 12th house in Ardra Nakshatra for Indira Gandhi.
Yeah.
So Mokshakara, Ketu 12th house, something related to
Moksha. Mokshakaraka, absolutely. And then she was not wearing that as a protective amulet, and that is where this was not told. This was told to me by somebody in Haridwar.
Okay.
When I was looking into a Rudraksha shop, and he told me these incidents where how Indira Gandhi got the Rudraksha mala, who gave it to her, and all that thing, and apparently she was not wearing the Rudraksha mala when she was assassinated.
Oh, okay. And who is the successor of Bal Thackeray?
His son.
His brother's son, like it's not his own
Raj
son.
Raj Thackeray.
Yeah. Raj Thackeray has got 3 planets in Mrigashira.
Oh.
Association, Mriga and Ardra,
Mriga and Ardra. And that is...
But he has not got anything in Ardra, but I just saw he has got something, 3 main planets in
Mrigashira. The searching star.
Yes. So, again, I don't know. But I thought maybe I'm not talking about Mrigashira, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so right now I would like to summarize my whole talk, in the picture form, basically. So when you talk about Ardra, the dog and the hunter, dog, animal, dog, hunter, skillful arms, aim, a good aim in specific goal, all those things come in mind. Hidden potential, outcast, innovative, all those aspects. Rahu, very much clearly associated with Ardra. Hunter, shooting an arrow at a specific point. So specific goals these people have. Rudra to Shiva, difficult transformation because all this bow shock, all those turbulence going inside them. The
Sure.
transformation is difficult. Connected with storms, connected with stratosphere and other things. So communication, good communication. So
Yeah.
storms. So all those. Just by this picture, I could say that okay, things can just. I show people just put summary points. I thought maybe I will put summary in terms of.
Visual aids. These are something that you would remember having these visually. Yeah.
Visually. Like we have those keywords for nakshatra, right? Now these are visual pictures of nakshatra.
Exactly.
So, and finally, I would like to thank you and Dr. again Sandeep Krishnan for discussions and also all our nakshatra course parties. I mean, very actively they are all participating, and I could learn a lot from them. And of course, the Saptarishis Astrology started all this.
Yes.
I don't know where I have been in this.
Yes.
So thanks to everyone. It's like that's what I said. It's not my own thing, but there are so many things which we don't know, which I know and which I don't know. What all things would have been helped me to give this talk to understand, and generations, maybe like teachers who know. So I think I should thank everyone.
I think this was Aditya. This was by far one of the best sessions I've ever had on astronomy and astrology. I think you have opened up a new avenue for us to go and research further into. I'm very grateful, and I would like to thank you for the time that you have taken in explaining each of those intricately. How our astronomy is very strongly linked with Jyotish and Nakshatras. So it was great session. We're going to have you back more often to speak about different nakshatras and how they are connected. So thank you very much for coming and teaching us this about Ardra Nakshatra. So highly appreciated. So see you soon.
I learned from you. So it's like, okay, it's like, give and take, and then we all share. And that's
I know. I think this is the beauty, Aditya. I want to tell all my viewers, this is the beauty that we have our research group. We have a very small knit group. The Nakshatra course participants that I have taught them, they have gone their way. They have been researching. They have been doing some original work. And the most important is they are willing to come forward and share this knowledge with all of us. So this is what I feel is a great thing. Having knowledge is one thing, but coming and sharing that knowledge is also a greater deed that I think everybody should be interested. So it's not about keeping that knowledge with yourself, but coming and sharing it with everybody. So thank you, Aditya. I'm grateful, and we all learn together. We are all students. We are all students of this science, and we will come and share more and more knowledge with everybody. So thanks, Aditya, for your time.
This is what I see. We all have to come together, and probably because everyone does something or other in fractals. Now it's all basically to come together and try to get something out of it, and everyone contributing their own knowledge, and then that's where we go. That's the way.
I think that's the journey. That's the journey that we all aspire for. It's not that if you have 10 minds put together and work on a complex problem, like we're talking about nakshatras now. So problem solving becomes much easier because everybody brings their perspective. They bring in new dimension. They bring fresh perspective. And this is why I started this series called as Whiteboard, a Nakshatra Gurukul series, where I want people who have done these deep researches to come and share their knowledge with us so that, we all learn from these experiences of experts and scholars. So great, Aditya. We'll have you back again pretty soon with another nakshatra that you would want to, like the way you've done with Ardra. We hope that you'll be doing it with the other nakshatras as well. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks a lot, and thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to come here and talk.
Oh, come on. It's not about an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to learn. Bringing all you experts is an opportunity for me and my viewers to learn. So we thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor.
Bye-bye.